All right. So any responses if your day was a car, what would it be and why? Mine would be like maybe the Land Rover 110 Defender. It is really raining where I don't want to get rained in or flooded. So mine would be the Defender 110. If your day was a car, what would it be and why? Let me see a few responses as discussed. Yes, no one wants to talk about their cars or is car too difficult? Ah, if your day was a car, what would it be and why? As you wait for that to come up, let's do a recap. This is week number 4, and we are talking about simple ways to remain visible. We're talking about be consistent and visual. I think it will be an absolutely amazing conversation that we're going to have today. My name is Chesuvire, and this is an amazing time to be here. I'm the co-founder of the Afrikan MSME Collective, and we support organizations, businesses, and leaders to start right and start and keep well. What does that mean? It means that we're building for sustainability. We're building to ensure that the generations coming behind us are effective and they are able to carry on our legacy. So that's what we do. This month, we've been talking about Be Where It Matters, which is all about using social media and really using what works. Um, and then there's an echo. Sorry, I'm out for the of some local challenges, so I'm in a slightly noisy environment. Is that what you're hearing when you say the echoes? Or let me see how to sort that. Sound is not good. Hi everyone. Is that better or is that better? Hello, can anyone hear me? Is that better? The echoes. No problem. Huh?
Is that better now? Do we have an echo now? Has the echo cleared? Okay, echo has cleared. Fantastic. So apologies. I'm in a new environment because we had some electronics issues in our neighborhood. So that's why we're having a bit of a challenge with some of our usual things we're used to. Okay, so we can get started. So last week we left off saying, what one message do you want to communicate clearly? What is one content type you will focus on? And what is one thing you will simplify? Did anybody try any of these things that they'd like to share as we continue? Anybody who wants to share what they've been able to do for the last week? You can put it in the chat. Did you change one platform that you use? Did you focus on one content type? I'd like to hear if anybody tried something. No, I don't have two devices. Don't worry, I only have one device. Yeah. It was my earphones that were causing a bit of the echo. All right. Did anybody do any of this, or we are still working on it? One message you would like to communicate clearly. Researched what other people in my world are doing. Excellent. That's a good place to start. Because remember earlier in the year we said your competition is a data source. So when you know what your competition is doing, then you're able to see gaps, meet the gaps, or figure out new things you need to do for yourself. Excellent. Somebody else, what did you do? Anyone else who did one of these ones? All right. We shall continue asking as we go through. I hope somebody will remember something they did, or you will share it in the chat and I'll catch up with it in a bit. So today we're talking about be consistent. And what we're talking about today specifically is creating simple video content. Visual content is important because remember, we are more and more visual as human beings. So what happens is that when we need to communicate something, very often a picture, we always say a picture speaks 1,000 words. And in the current generation, a video captures the attention and holds it and communicates faster, usually communicates faster than we would expect. So how many videos have you recorded and never posted? Or have you given one of those excuses? So if you've recorded and never posted, let's put the number in the chat. And if you have never recorded but have been giving these excuses, which one is your top excuse? Number one, I need better equipment. Number two, I'm not ready. Number three, I don't know what to say. Number four, I still don't want to be on camera. So which of those is you? If you've created and not posted video content, put in the chat how many videos you have sitting in your storage, in your gallery. Okay, I can see somebody has 2 videos they've never posted. If you have never tried to shoot a video for one of those reasons, let us know which of those reasons you have used the most. All right, I'm looking for a few more responses. Recorded a lot, not posted, not ready. Okay, tons of videos. And the keyword there says, I'm not ready for both of you. Okay. Somebody else, one more person to respond. Then we can continue. Don't worry, if you've never posted, I hope by the end of this session, we will be encouraged, like deeply encouraged. All right? So most of us are not struggling with video. We're actually struggling with consistency. Because why is it that I would it would be easier to post an image or a text, but not a video, right? So when you think about it, over the last this is the 4 weeks, over the last 3 weeks, we've built visibility step by step. We have made sure that we are searchable. And for being searchable, one of the examples we used was Google My Business. We made sure we showed up where our audience was. So we reviewed where our audience was, identified the primary sites they're on, and we chose to go there. Last week, we were talking about how to communicate effectively and clearly. And today we finally show up consistently. That's really what we're pursuing in today's session. You see, visibility doesn't grow through one good post. Virality doesn't come from one good post. Connection doesn't happen with one good post. In marketing, we say that people buy after 7 to 12 touches. So if we're looking at that in terms of our socials and our online engagements, then what are your last 7 posts and how well did you connect with your audience? So visibility grows through repeated presence. It should be known that every Monday at 9 a.m. there's a post from DVR, and this is the color, this is the general theme, this is how it makes us feel. We should know that on every maybe Wednesday, there's something up from SOA Events, and it looks like this. There's something up from XYZ Partners, so that you are able to be consistently in the face of your target audience. Video has become one of the fastest ways to build trust, reach, and reliability. Why? Because people can see. There's evidence that what they're seeing is connected to a brand, it's connected to a people. But many of us overcomplicate it. And really what we want to do in this session is to simplify it enough so that it becomes sustainable. All right? Now, many of us hear of video and we share. But this is what we must understand. Videos help people see the product, they understand your service, they trust you better because they shorten the distance between awareness and trust. And they are on many platforms prioritized. Different platforms at different points have different elements of priority, but currently, across TikTok, across Instagram, across Facebook, video is ranking very well. And if you're able to combine video and carousels on TikTok and Instagram, you have a better fighting chance. So it's not like you will not be visible without using video, but it enhances your visibility or it gets you to stay visible faster. So these days, video is not an option. It must be part of your marketing strategy. It is not about becoming an influencer. It's not about expensive equipment. It's not about going viral. It is having a simple system to create content consistently. If you're able to consistently talk about this product and the benefit it brings that will encourage people to buy in a simple manner, remember, people's attention span is now 7 seconds. You have the first 3.5 to grab them in, and then from there they will stay maybe 7 to 10. If it is not food by the 10, they're out. In fact, many are out by 7.5, right? So it's about using what you have, what you know, and about building confidence through repetition. So you do 7 seconds today, 7 seconds tomorrow, 7 seconds next week, until it becomes something you can rinse and repeat. So I can tell you for free, the first time you do it, be ready to duck. You might even take down the first one. I remember when I first went on video on TikTok, I put it up, I deleted, I did again, I deleted the third one, I left. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? In the next 3 weeks, I had become so proficient that I was doing one shoot. I did all my videos in one take. To date, my videos are one take. Why? Because I need them to sound exactly like me and I need them to be off the cuff. So they're not over practiced. I may have a script, I may work through it, I may figure out what I want to say, but that is just a structure. How did I get there? Consistency. So if your excuse has been, I don't have the right equipment, do you have a phone with a decent camera? The end. My YouTube channel, my personal one, is on my phone. My TikTok channel is on my phone. I just make sure I buy an excellent camera with a good front camera, a phone with a good front camera and a good back camera, depending on what I'm taking. So I can shoot when I'm on the road, I can pick up stuff, I can shoot my own. That way I'm able to put up stuff consistently. All right. Now, because now we know we're looking at a simple system, let's clarify a few things. Because clarity is immediate, and I've said this all through the month, clarity is immediate. What you must do is you must start simple. Start with what you have. If you remember Moses at the burning bush, God asked him, what do you have in your hand? And he had a rod, and he said, drop it. And he dropped it, it became a serpent. Pick it by the tail, he picked it, it became a staff again. So for me, that is the starting line of start with what you have. If your phone is not particularly fabulous, we shall be talking about other ways you can do video content, okay? Consistency beats perfection. So one simple video a week beats a perfect video every 3 months. What we're trying to do, and remember in this place, we always said, start with what you can and then grow it from there. So if what you can right now is one video a week, that's cool. It doesn't matter that there are sites that tell you 5 videos a day, every day. If you cannot manage the 5, but can manage the 1 a week, build the consistency. All right. As you build the consistency, you must be absolutely clear. Remember, we've been talking about knowing who your target market is, what problem it is they're encountering, how you solve it, and what result you give them. Clarity. Say one thing clearly to meet a pain of that target audience. Not 15 million ideas. One idea, maybe there are 5 solutions to that one problem. All right. Like this afternoon, I was listening to somebody on TikTok who said, she's gone viral very many times, and these are the 3 things that have helped her. The topic was how to go viral. She didn't come and tell us how you go viral. She said, I have gone viral multiple times, and these are the 3 things that has helped me. She was done in a minute, right? So it was enough time for it to grab my attention, and I watched it a couple of times just to make sure I got those 3 things right. So clarity matters. Reliability, relatability wins. So why did that connect with me? I teach people and people keep asking me about virality. So beyond wanting to go viral, it was also the desire to teach the people in my audience how to go viral. Right? And it was very, very relatable because she's a faith-based content person. She talks about enterprise. She uses scripture as her foundation, and she has gone viral. So that speaks to my audience also. So people connect with real stories. That's why you need to be relatable. And then systems reduce resistance. So your system is how you plan. If you're putting up a video every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do you have a pattern for shooting? Do you have a theme? Do you have a program? How is your team supporting you? If you're doing it all, then what is your day for writing your script? When do you shoot? When do you edit? When do you schedule and post? How do you manage or engage with your content? So the system reduces resistance. I remember when I started doing a lot of video content, I was thinking about it every day. When I used to do 1 TikTok live a week, I would think about it that day. Now, this week I'll be planning next month, both for QSS, because we have the themes for QSS, and then I will be planning in my 8 episodes of TikTok lives for May. How does that help me? When I come to prepare, even if I'm tired, I'm not blank. There is a plan, there is a thought process that goes into it when I'm fresh. So systems reduce resistance. The same thing should also happen with your other content. That's why when we as digital marketers support you, we give you a content calendar. We have the themes we're looking at, and then you say, this day video, this day article, this day post. So you can find people consistently have Motivation Monday. They've thought in advance, Wisdom Wednesday. Those are just hashtags they picked up and developed content around, right? So systems reduce resistance. Now, some of us are like, I don't want to show my face. I don't like video. Guess what? Faceless video content works. It works because there are so many things you can do from the faceless perspective. Product videos. You can show people how to use your product. One of my greatest, one of the brands I'm really enjoying watching right now, she's called Krista Shea. And every day or every week, they focus on a different product. For instance, last week, they were focusing on, no, 3 weeks ago, they have a glow cream, a glow serum, and they focused on the glow serum. So they had a challenge, a 7-day challenge. Start today, use your glow serum, and every day, show us how your skin is doing. At the end of 7 days, show us the difference. So they ended up with men and women participating. It was not their faces. Those were testimonial videos, all right? They also have product videos where they show you how to use specific products. For instance, they spent 3 weeks talking about sunscreen. Every day they will show you how to apply your sunscreen 1 week, and then they'll show you the different kinds of sunscreen. So they have all original sunscreen, and then they have caramel for the lighter girls or the light skinned people. And then they also have mocha for those of us who are darker skinned. So they would show how it looks on the skin. So you see how the 3 sunscreens look. And then today they'll be applying original, how it soaks. So what they do every week is they pick a product, and that week you just see how to use the product. And they have such a wide range, it will take them at least 5 to 6 months to go through all their products because they don't hurry, okay? And then when they have a special, like every, I think, last Friday or first Friday of the month, they have a special on their lip balm. So we all wait and then we stock up, all right? That's product videos. Behind the scenes, let's say you're in a production business, you're in events, you're a baker. Show your process and your workspace. You're not showing your face necessarily. If you're baking, set your camera at a point so that you can take people step by step through what you do. All these online recipes currently they're on making chocolate, healthy drinks, smoothies. All that is behind the scenes videos. You're showing your process, you're showing your workspace, you're showing how it works without showing your face. And that is effective because then people have not only trust, but they can copy you and ensure that they get the process right. Now, remember, people share what is important to them. So when they share that, what actually happens is they now begin to share how it's working for them and letting people know, I told you, you wanted to know how this works? Watch this. So what they become for you is third-party endorsement. Then there are text videos, and I think we've seen these ones where it's just text across several video screens. So you have your text ready, and you overlay it on a backdrop of a video, or maybe something like we do. I've seen a lot of nature ones. I've seen people walking, and it's it's a rear view, it's a side view. You can figure out what you want in your background, but what you want people to see is the text that scrolls across the screen. Again, your face is not there. The other thing you can do is you could maybe do a recording, especially when you're doing digital products and services. You do a recording so that people have something that they can follow, and then do a voiceover. Now, voiceovers are amazing, and these days with all the AI tools we have, you can have a number of different voiceovers. For instance, when I'm relaxing and chilling in the evening, I like to listen to stories. And these stories are usually told, some of them, like the one I'm listening to, is a West African story, but it's told with the voice of a Caucasian male. So it's even more hilarious when you start reading listening to how they're mispronouncing our names because they're reading them in English and then pronouncing them and their local names. But the voiceover allows me to follow the visuals and follow the story without wondering who is it that is doing it. So in this day and age where we have AI at our dispensation, we also have apps which you can do your product video. You've seen the adverts for. You take a video and a photo and you turn it into a video. You have seen where you take you have an audio and you embed it into AI and it turns that into a video. It doesn't have to be your face. However, the thing you must understand is that video content is the current rave. So here are some examples. A baker can show the baking or the decorating process. They can show delivery, what they do, how they stack the car. There's a lady who was showcasing how she had designed special mats in her boot so that she could put little pegs. So she puts a cast cake, put pegs around it, secures it, so she could transport 6 cakes in the back of her van without wondering whether if she breaks, they will slide. All her videos, she has a cup pulled low, and her colleagues have a cup pulled low, and what they're doing is stacking. So your focus is not on their faces, your focus is on how they are packing the boot. You're a coach, you could record slides with a voiceover so you don't have to be seen. You could explain a book by having, if you've got an ebook, pages turning. Retail businesses could showcase their products. An event planner could show behind the scenes of event setup. What did the build-up look like? What was the room before you came? How did you build? How was the event final look? When you were breaking it down, what was the room like? The look you're trying to put is to show that you are seamless end to end. And then a consultant, you could record, do a screen recording, or even record how you go through a process, or just record a tip or have it overlaid onto a video. The goal is visibility. It's not forcing a format that feels unnatural. It is building a body of content and information in a format that is easily digestible and very visual so that people actually remember you. The goal is visibility. So whether you want to go full face or faceless is not the issue. The issue is we have to accept that video is a prime mode of communication in this century. And it gets more and more interesting because we have more and more tools at our disposal. It's not like in 2020 when we had just begun to go fully visual that we needed to buy cameras. Thanks be to all our phone manufacturers, the phone cameras are getting clearer and clearer, and we have many more features on our phones that will allow us to create, edit much better content. Now, I'm Android. So my iPhone friends, please forgive me. I like Android because you can shoot a video and in your gallery, you can edit, you can add a music score, you can put a cover and a front, an intro and an outro, all there in your gallery. I tried iPhone, it gave me a lot of pressure. I stepped away from that ecosystem because it's less robust for what I needed to do. However, the iPhone have some amazing cameras also. For me, it's just the number of hoops I had to jump into I had to jump through the number of hoops I had to jump through to get what I needed done. I quietly walked back to my Android infrastructure. So when we're talking about videos, it is across all platforms. You can use videos on your TikTok. And remember, on TikTok, you have your stories, you have your poster. On Instagram, you have your stories, you have your reels, and you can put music to your post, okay? On Facebook, you have your stories, you have your reels, and then on WhatsApp, you have your WhatsApp status, and you have the capacity to share short videos in groups you're in and to individuals. So when we talk about 7-second videos, it is for all platforms. Does that mean we should not do longer ones? No. So let's use this as an example. You have once a week a big piece of video content. So like, let's use this class. This class is our big piece of content every week. And then we can take it and do 3-minute, 1 minute, 30-second, 7-second videos, different sets, and use them on different platforms, as well as pick 5 to 6 key points and turn them into carousels. Okay? Now remember I explained last week, carousels is when you have multiple images together in one post. So nowadays on Instagram, whereas you could only do 10, you can actually go up to 20 individual posts, like let me call them 20 slides on one post, right? You will still caption them. So what you do is your big piece of content, you can reduce it to many smaller pieces of content. If you do a monthly training, a monthly webinar, a monthly something, you can take that one piece of content and repurpose it through videos, through formal text, through videos, through graphics, through captions for the rest of the month. What you want to do is be able to see the full picture of what you can do. So this long one, we would upload it to YouTube because YouTube takes long form content. And then the 3 minutes, we can put them on YouTube as shorts. We can use them on TikTok. We can do maybe a 7 to 10 minute or a significant section also for TikTok and Instagram. And then Facebook, you can use all of them, or you can choose to do a different format. You can choose to frame it differently because the TikTok ones will be long and the Instagram ones will be long. So what you do is the 7-second ones are hooks. They're allowing people to realize, I like the stuff Dorothy does, so let me go for more. All right, so your 7-second is a hook. Then you take them to 30 to 60 to 90, and then you direct them. I think you've seen on the different platforms, like let me use churches. Churches pick a segment of the sermon, and then they put in the caption full message on, give you the YouTube channel, and it gives you the message title. What they're doing there is using the shorter forms of video content to drive you to the long form content. So when you see your video content as part of that system, it becomes less problematic to develop it, and over time it gets more natural. So some practical steps we can take. The formula is simple. A hook, which is an attention grabber, one clear idea you want to communicate, and a call to action. A hook, a clear message, and a call to action. Why do we do that? You have a very short time to grab attention, 1 to 3 seconds, hence your hook. You'll have one idea because that is the biggest thing that will send people where you want them to go, and you need to know where you want them to go. So if it is click the link before or follow link in bio, you have to have a very clear action point you want them to take. 3 key things. You have a hook, one clear message, and a call to action. Now, what are common ideas? You can answer common customer questions. You know that question everybody asks you all the time? Your frequently asked questions, turn those into video content. We've already talked about behind the scenes, demonstrating products. How about a quick tip and why that tip made a difference to you? And then you highlight a customer. Now, remember what I talked about, the crystal shape process, where they had a challenge and people shared their videos of applying their different serums? Those you put on the feed. So today at 6, you will put up all those ones that are talking about the serum. And then when you do the one about sunscreen and then subsequent products, what happens is by the time you get to the end of it, you have had enough customers speak so well about your product that becomes your point of reference. And that's how, like I said earlier, it's third-party endorsement. Key things, and we've struggled with those ones today. So it's a very interesting thing that this is the topic that we're looking at. Good lighting. When it's please don't have a light that is shining above you, so you've got shadows below, if possible. And when I started, now let me give you my tricks. When I started, I had a soft light table, a bedside table lamp that I would stick books to the height of just about the height of my device, and then the lamp would lie horizontally on the books to give me straight light. Right? So you want to be able to have your whole face visible without shadows as much as possible. All right? If you are shooting products, you would want to have an elevated light that is tilted over the place you're taking photos, and then some light from either side so that then you have no shadows. Shadows are very distracting. I also find that when we use ring lights, and for those of us who wear glasses and use a ring light, it is always a support in front on your glasses for everybody to see. So I have a ring light I usually use, but I make it a little bit higher than myself. So I still have the light at a good distance, but I do not have the support of the ring light on my glasses. So good light. Number 2 is clear sound. Clear sound means if you can get the mics that allow you to muffle and remove the outside noise, that is a big plus. If not, be sure to record at the quietest time of your day. Not when your children are running through the house, coming back from school, calling your attention, at the quietest time of your day. I remember when I first started TikTok, I would record like at 10:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. because the house has settled. People have put on the TV. Sometimes I'd actually record between 11:30 and 1:30 in the morning just because of the level of silence I needed. And then have a stable phone position. If you can, get a tripod. Now we have little tripods for desks, but again, when I started, I used again a stack of books with a camera just under the light, and it worked for almost a year and a half before I was able to I have a desk tripod, and then I have a bigger tripod for when we're doing shoots, standing shoots, all right? So stable phone position. Sometimes you want to have it's beneath the camera below you and you're looking into it. Sometimes you want it straight ahead. Sometimes you want a little bit further at an angle. It depends on what you're doing, but let your camera always be in a stable position. And finally, a clean background. Most of you know my usual background is a bookcase, but like I said, I'm not at my regular position. So the background behind me is very, very clunky. You'd be focused more on my background than on me when we're speaking right now. So what have I done? I have blurred my background so that then I'm able to focus, because even I would be focusing on all the designs that are in the background. So good lighting, clear sound, stable phone position, clean background. And then the basics are to ensure you have thought through your content and what you're going to put up. If you're going to use AI, you can use AI to give you books, to give you scripts. And if you're going to use a script, practice it and be sure. I don't like scripts. I don't like scripts. Sometimes it's difficult when I have to say something scripted because now I have to really, really practice it. I like to do my intro point, the 3 things I need to cover, my outro, and my call to action. And I just flow through them naturally. But there are some of us who cannot do that. So if you're a script person, write your script. Okay? Now, common mistakes we make, we wait for that 400,000 shilling camera, for those boom mics, for that. No, there's no point to do that. Ever since COVID, people have been more inclined to authentic videos than perfect ones. So even the algorithm no longer judges you for having a simple, authentic video. There was a time where if you didn't have studio quality stuff, the algorithm will judge you. Not anymore, right? The other common mistake is over editing. You cut, until you're wondering, so what was I trying to say? Over editing often comes from perfectionism and over scrupulosity, which means you just want people to see you in a very specific way, which may not be natural. So remove bloopers, remove mistakes, but let it be as natural as possible, okay? The other mistake is when we consistently try to go viral. Have you ever tried to do something so hard that it never works? I have had viral posts and they have been the least likely ones that have gone viral. So when you go viral, you are speaking to a very specific audience on a very specific issue that's appealing to them in a very specific, relatable way. Those three things. Remember, I said earlier that I was watching somebody who said three things have helped her go viral multiple times. But you don't record just to go viral. You record because you have a reason. So then recording without purpose just gives your content inspirational, informational, but not transformational. The other thing that we make mistakes and I will not happen, it is inconsistency. You put one up today, you forget tomorrow, you do the next day, then you forget for 3 months. And then the final mistake is assuming that all videos must have your face. Not anymore. Not anymore. You can make videos out of posters with a voiceover. You can make videos out of quotes and graphics. There's so much you can do. So don't get stuck about, I don't want my face there. If you are not comfortable with your face, how else can you put out your content? All right. So let's think about this. And I'd like to see some responses to this reflection. What has stopped you creating video content? I'd like to see answers to that. What has stopped you? I know some have said they have lots of it created, but for those who've never created, what has stopped you from creating content? I'm very curious to know. What has stopped you from creating content? Or what made you inconsistent? Let me also add that one. I know for some of you who I follow online, I have seen one post here, one post there. I know Karen. Karen is super consistent. So we will need to come to you. In fact, Karen, let me put you on the spot. What gives you the energy to be as consistent as you are? Let me put you on the spot, Karen. You can unmute and speak, or you can put it in the chat.
But I'm in a noisy place, so let me check on the chat.
All right, that's fine.
Or let me unlike and then I'll talk.
Okay. Absolutely fine. So she'll either put it in the chat or she'll move from where she is. So what has stopped you? I'm looking for some responses from some people in the audience as we wind down. Please put it in the chat. I will come back to it shortly. So what do I want us to do? I want us to choose one of these options and record a video this week. By this week, remember our week is Tuesday to Monday. So before the next session, pick one of these formats, record it, and post it. Just one. And if you share your socials with us and you tag us, the African MSME Collective, African with a K, we will come and we will comment on your video, we will share it, and we will engage with it. So what has stopped you is not making it a priority in my life and relying on word of mouth. Okay? I like that. You have relied largely on word of mouth and your work has grown that way, so you've not felt the need to do videos. All right? So I will be looking forward to being tagged by a few people. So figure out one video you'll create, one platform you'll post it on, and one thing you will stop overthinking. And I can assure you, the thing that you will stop overthinking will help you create that video and it will help you post it, right? So, as we wind down, because I can see time is far gone, we must understand that visibility comes through repetition. You do not need expensive tools. You do not need perfect videos. You simply need to start. And like riding a bicycle, you will get more confident every time you ride. Remember the first time you rode a bicycle, you fell? Did you stop? Okay, some of us did. Most of us didn't. Or the first time you tried that project, or the first time you built, like maybe for Dorothy, the first time you did interior design, when you designed a house and it didn't go well, it didn't stop you. So then, if we're able to conquer the larger things, why not these ones, the smaller things that will get us in front of the audiences we're looking for? So I like what you said, Dorothy. Life has changed so much that you need to grow a new pipeline. Absolutely. Because if you've been in an industry 10 years, your customer base has changed. So are you preparing for the next customer base who will be coming and interacting with your product? All right. So Karen says, I don't feel like I'm consistent. I fight with what do people want to hear with what I also want to hear. But Karen, you put a video up every day. That is consistent. I can tell how long I've been off TikTok by the number of videos I come and I see, and TikTok is Karen's favorite channel. So whereas you may think you're not consistent, we can see, those of us who follow you, that every day at least one video goes up Sunday to Sunday. Which means even if it is just that one, there is consistency in your pattern, that something happens. So please receive my congratulations. All right. Finally, show up simply, show up consistently, and stay visible long enough to be remembered. Many of us, because we are inconsistent, we become forgettable. Many of us become forgettable because we are inconsistent. So show up simply and consistently. Don't overthink it. Don't stress. If today you have one thought, but I had a series I did every day and I need to go back to doing it. A friend of mine said, I know you because every day when I come online, there is something I need to know. Because my starting line was something you need to know today. And I had people who diligently followed that particular thread. So I'm going to go back there. Why did I become inconsistent? I stopped planning it out properly. I began saying, I'll figure it out. And then when I stopped to think, I'm too tired, so I don't do it. So I went into a different cycle to keep my consistency online, but I need to come back to the video content. So do we have any questions? Do we have questions before we go forward and I hand it over to Joe? Any questions for me? All right. Mr. Mukoko, over to you.
Yes, Subra, I can hear someone speak. Are they speaking to you? Shesubira?
I see there's a question, where can we listen to this whole series? In the next couple of days, we're going to be putting the whole series on our YouTube channel, and Joe will be talking about our YouTube channel shortly. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you very much, Shesubira. This year you have decided it is the C's that have it. Consistency and clarity, then consistency. That you're not found today and then you're not found tomorrow. And you're wondering, why are they not reaching out to me? So thank you for that powerful reminder to all of us. So let's give Chesubire her flowers while she's still here. I know she received physical flowers a few weeks ago. So we'll make sure she can get some more physical flowers again